Hello, ladies, and welcome to another episode of Perspectives with Sherry. I'm your host, Sherry Ryan, and today I am honored to have a very special guest with me, Dr. Yameika Head. Welcome.
Hey.
So, ladies, I'm going to give you some background on Dr. Yameika. But before I do that, really quick, some quick admin things. If you have not yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Give me that thumbs up and please slide in the comments and let me know something unique about your motherhood story because that's what we're focusing on this month. And if you're listening on the audio podcast, go ahead and follow us and leave us a review. All right. So let me introduce you all to Dr. Yameika Head. She's a dedicated pediatrician, parent coach, and mother who brings both professional expertise and personal insight to her mission of supporting families. With a deep understanding of childhood development and a passion for advocacy, she specializes in helping professional parents navigate the emotional and practical challenges of raising children with unexpected diagnoses. Through compassionate guidance and real world strategies, Dr. Head empowers parents to confidently advocate for their children and create nurturing, supportive environments where families can thrive, which is so awesome. Welcome again, Dr. Yameika.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, well, I have some questions. Like I noted before, this is a part of my series, Journey Through Motherhood. And this month has been so inspiring to me personally and to a lot of you. I have been focusing on some dynamic women that have many different professions, but they are mothers, which is one of our most important jobs as well. And Dr. Yameika is no different. So we are going to get into this interview. Now, you have devoted your life to advocating for children's well being, especially in early childhood development and pediatric health. How has that work shaped your own journey as a mother?
Um, well, it it's different. Because as a pediatrician, I'm old, but I have been trained, to help parents to give advice. I can see things like ahead of time when things are happening, but it's different when you have your own children.
Mhm.
Yes, when I go to my child's doctor and they're talking about things, I could be like, yeah, I already understand that.
Right.
But as a mom and being a pediatrician, like I become totally dumb when it comes to my own child. So that's I think a big difference. Like your child, I know what's going on. My child, I have missed so much stuff because I am always mom first.
Right.
She is not my patient.
That's right.
Um, and so I think that's the hard balance because people think like, oh, it's easy. Like you can take care of your child. I am a mom always
Mhm,
first.
mhm.
And so it's good that I am blessed to have other people that take care of her because
Yeah.
when I'm in mom mode, which is always first, when I have her, I see in it. I don't see the stuff. But I can say because being a mom, I can offer to my patients like
Mhm.
different world experience things I had with my child. I can say, well, when my child went through this, we had to do this, girl, I didn't know. And
Right.
you relate more to your families because yes, I have a child. I have been through this. I understand you're
Right.
frustrated with me when I'm just like, you're just gonna grow out of it, and parents don't want to hear that.
Right.
But I can at least have stories to tell them,
Yes.
which is the good thing about it. But as far as for me and just taking care of my child, like I don't know anyway, nothing.
Well, I imagine, being a pediatrician and but being a mom, you see your child through a different lens. So I totally get that. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now getting to this next point, because you have been very open about your daughter's unexpected diagnosis.
Mhm.
Can you take us back to that moment? What was it like emotionally and how did it shift or did it shift the way you parented?
A lot. a lot. So um, so lots of stuff with my child. Her name is Joy, and she came early, so we
Mm,
had to deal with that. So it was a lot of things that because she came early, she was about 36 weeks, so a month ahead of time.
yeah.
So dealing with having a premature baby, a baby that does all the premature things. So with the feeding, with she had jaundice, so
Mm,
dealing with all that. She
mhm,
also was found to have a heart murmur,
mm,
that she actually had to have surgery for. So my child has been through all of that. Um,
mm,
but I think the main thing that is a part of why I started parent coaching, why I do the things that I do, and I'm a big advocate, is because I found out later around my child being close to, I think she was close to two-ish,
mhm,
that she cannot hear. Okay.
mhm.
So that was a shock to our family. We actually, so she passed her hearing test in the newborn
Okay.
period. But and it's like, I guess her hearing kind of went away because we noticed that, when I would call her, she wouldn't turn around, or loud noises. Most kids jump.
Yeah.
Joy just lay back. She's not doing anything. And
Right.
then when she would come around, like come to my office, and everybody's like, "Hey, Joy, hey, Joy," she would just walk right past everybody. And I'm like,
Gotcha.
"You don't hear all this noise?" And then, but as soon as she sees somebody, she's a social butterfly. So she all in everybody's face and just,
Right.
love, 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 love. So then at one time I thought, well, maybe she has autism. I don't know. That's a lot
Yeah.
of things that you see when, you don't have that initial interaction. The first thing you would start thinking about is autism and her speech. She wasn't talking. So then I took her to a behavioral and developmental pediatrician who was a friend of mine. And I was like,
Okay.
let's do this assessment, see what's going on. And so Joy did all the things, but at the end, she was like, I think she can't hear.
Mm.
What? And of course, I have an African American child. So music comes on, she dances on beat. So I'm like, how can she not hear? And she
Right.
is dancing and bobbing her head and dancing with us on beat.
Wow.
But later I find out with children that have deafness, like they can feel the vibrations or
Okay.
the what's it called, reverberation, whatever. She
Uh-huh.
can hear that, so she can, and she can mimic us, and she can get on beat. So,
Okay.
of course, got a true hearing test assessment, and yes, my child had severe deafness, and so
Mm.
that took me into a lot of different emotions because I'm a pediatrician. You would have thought I would have noticed my own child cannot hear, but that goes back to, like I was saying, I'm a mom, so I'm not
Right.
trying to diagnose and picking to see if my child is doing everything that she's supposed to.
Exactly.
Um, so that was very difficult. The in Just learning that, and you have that guilt of, I do this every day. I go to work every day. I tell people about their children every day, and how did I miss things with my
Mhm.
own child? And then on top of that, trying, as being African American women, we're strong. We don't
Mhm.
emotion. Okay. We
Right.
don't do that. We're always a strong face. Mind you, on top of that, I've been trained as a physician that we don't show emotion. I can't
Mhm.
cry every time a child gets a bad diagnosis. And
Right.
so just in me, people did not know that I was going through things. It was a lot of crying in my closet. That's my little
Mm.
area where I'll close the door, cry
Mhm.
there. Didn't talk to my friends and family about how I felt, how I was
Mm.
scared. I just always had this, strong face. Even my
Yeah.
husband, I would never have known you were scared because I just
Wow.
had, yeah, this what we did. This is what we got to do. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
Boom, boom. But it took a lot of behind the scenes, a lot of therapy as well,
Mhm.
to work through that. Yes, I am a mom. Yes, I am a whole human. No, I was not supposed to catch that because I am not my child's doctor.
That's right.
And the fact that because we are African American women, we're taught that vulnerability is bad. Um,
Mhm.
knowing my therapist helped me to reflect on it's actually stronger to be able to express to somebody how I felt, to show people that no, I'm not this superhuman person, and that I
Yes.
do have feelings, and it is not showing weakness that I'm feeling things.
That's right. That's
So it
right.
was a whole journey and a whole thing where I'm like, I need to talk to other families and parents about going through a time when you all of a sudden get this diagnosis and
Mhm.
you don't know what to do else, because I have never been around deaf people. I,
Right.
where is she going to go to school? I mean, all I'm a planner. I knew where
Yeah.
she was going. I knew it. And this she was did. No, this shook up everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So it was just a big woo journey. Um,
Mhm.
just a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. So that is what sparked you getting into the parent coaching, because I guess you're saying you would have wanted that for yourself. So, I think, like I said, I think that's beautiful. The fact that what you went through, now you have made it your mission to help other parents navigate that. I Awesome. I think that is so awesome. Um, so let me ask you, as a pediatrician, and you specialize in child abuse, obesity care, and adolescent health, how do you balance being both a medical professional and a mom? You talked about that a little bit because it's different. But at some point, do those worlds collide?
Um, not so much as far as medically does that affect my what I do as far
Mhm.
well, take that back. Because I see a lot of things with child abuse is some things where I'm just my poor child won't ever do because I didn't.
Yeah.
So I can say that affects some of my parenting.
Yeah.
Being trustful of people around my child and actually watching my child. I don't make my child hug people. So if she wants to hug you, I don't say hug so and so and so. I
Yeah.
don't. So if she wants to hug you, I'm okay with that. But
Right.
just that part, I guess my child abuse part
Yeah.
affects
No,
that.
I totally get that. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I mean, I'm sure it does make you a little more protective. Um,
Very,
yes. Yes.
very protective
Yes.
of that.
Totally.
But just I have always made I always believe family comes first.
Mhm.
So I don't let anything from my work affect my family time. I have made that a boundary of mine. So
Good.
they they have a window. You can call me at any time. But when I get home, unless
Yes.
it's you see somebody dying, you really, really need me, like
Right.
that's my family time. So
Right.
I have made that a boundary that my family always come. My if my husband is sick, I'm gonna take care of my husband. My mom
Mhm.
was sick, like I'm gonna take care of them. My child is I am taking off to take my child to
Mm,
the doctor.
that's
So
great.
reschedule my patients or we're gonna have to
Mhm.
book whatever. I'm taking that time. So I've always made that when I started this career that my family always comes first because you only get one family. And
That's so
I
true.
never want it to be that my kids always say my mom was never there. I
Yes.
never want to hear that. Now, it's some stuff I can't go to, okay?
Right.
But for the most part, my mom was there. She came home. She was able
Yeah.
to come to awards banquet, or we had a birthday party. No, she couldn't come to the one they had at school, but she threw me a birthday party and she was there.
Right.
So that's the thing. I just want my children always to have a great memory of me.
Mhm. I love
And
that.
that is very, very important to me.
That is, and
So
I mean I applaud that because I know that you are very busy, and work life balance is huge. And sometimes, trying to be that driven person where I want to have this accomplished, whatever. Sometimes, sadly, a lot of us let that take priority over what's really more important, which is that family. And I'm glad that that is not not the case for you, Dr. Yameika. I love that. I really do. Um, all right, let's also talk about the fact that you're a bonus mom.
yes.
Yes. So many of our listeners can relate. I also am. How has that role challenged or changed you, or has it?
Um, I don't think it's changed it. Well, okay. So my older children, so I claim them. So
Mhm.
whenever people ask me how many children, I have three girls. So I
Okay.
have twin daughters who are 25, and then
Okay.
I have Miss Joy Bean, who is
Yes.
10 currently.
Okay.
So I've always said I've had babies before. I just didn't birth them, but they are
Hmm.
my children, and I
Hmm.
I have always been there with them. They have lived with me and their father. So they started living with me with us when they went to high school. So I did the
Okay.
whole high school
Teenage years.
drama, all changing the emotions because me and
Yes.
their father got together when they were 10. And
Okay.
so now they're 25. And
Oh
so
yeah.
I remember they were little girls, and then they became, the crazy preteen, and then the teenagers, and they are young adults and going
Yes.
through that adulting phase. And, so I was able it's weird because I got to have a different time in the
Hmm.
beginning and then had to do the baby and that journey.
Hmm.
I believe I'm blessed because I can talk to people about different areas because I have been through
Yes.
them. I do
Yeah.
miss the drama with the teens. Teenagers always go through drama. So I do
Always.
miss coming home and the gossip, and I still miss that. Um,
Yeah.
but I think I I have always, with their mother, when me and their father got together, me and their mom had a conversation of what my role would be with them. And
Hmm.
I told her, I'm not trying to be their mom. They have
Right.
a mommy. I
Hmm.
am here to support you and their father. And I
Hmm.
love them just as much as you love them. And I would never do anything to affect your relationship. I want to have a good relationship with you so we can talk about different things. You give me the heads up, I give you the heads up, but we're a
Right.
team together. And I'm just an extra love that they have. So I've been blessed to have a
You
good
have.
relationship with their mom, but I was always a woman first to tell
Yes.
her, hey, this is how I want it to be. I'm not
Mhm.
trying to take over, and we're going to take care of these kids together. And I'm not going to overstep my bounds unless you are like, and she has been like, Yameika, they listen to you. So go
Yeah.
tell them. And I just have a different approach to them because I'm their bonus mom. So
Yeah.
I let their mother and their father do the discipline, but I don't
Right.
go be like, that was crazy. What made you think? I can't have that conversation and like, well, your daddy gonna get you, your mama gonna get you, but let's sit down and talk about this thing. Okay. Now let's wait. So I've always had that relationship with them. So even now, they'll come and be like, they call me Miss Mika. Miss Mika, I got this dilemma. What you think? And I know with girls and teens and young adults, like you don't tell them what to do, but you
Right.
ask lots of questions and make them think of, they usually come up with their own solution. Just,
Right. Just kind of guide them. Yeah.
yeah, kind of got them and
Yeah.
let them see different perspectives. So it's been great. I'm loving the young adultinghood because when they were with us, they couldn't wait to when I get 18, I'm leaving. And
Yup.
now they're 25 and they're like, can we come back home? We're like, no, you adults, you didn't want to be with us anymore. Go on, learn how it's not fun being adults. So it's it's so much fun, and they have a wonderful relationship with their little sister. So
So
she
good.
keeps up with them more than I do. So
Uh-huh.
it's just a great it's just a great thing.
That is awesome. I mean, everybody is not as fortunate. I can sadly say not so much. But our situation was different. My husband's my I have 3 children and my husband has 3. And by the time we met, his youngest child was 13 and the boys were older. They were they were in their early 20s. And so we just haven't had the time to really blend the way I had it in my head. And then as years went on, it just didn't, it just
Mhm,
didn't come together that way. But, again, everybody has a different story. But I love that you were able to do that. I love that you and the mom have that kind of relationship. That is so important. Um,
mhm.
all right. So we're going to go to our next question. Ironically, we're still in the blended family. So, for mothers who are navigating unexpected paths, whether through diagnosis, blended families, or just the pressures of raising kids, what would you say to them today?
Um, I want them to know, like, you don't have to have everything together.
Mm-hmm.
That parenting is a journey, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna be perfect. You're not gonna know everything. You will make mistakes. I just
True
want
that.
people to know, because even with me doing, my parent coach, like, I'm learning every day,
Right.
just like you, like everybody else. But at least when I'm going through my trials and tribulations, I could be like, "Hey, this
Mm-hmm.
I went through this. Imma help you to not go through this." But it's
Right.
just long as people know it's a journey and it's a long
Mm-hmm.
journey, and, um, you have to decide for yourself what you want your parenting journey or your concepts or your beliefs to be,
Mm-hmm.
and hold on to that, and at the end of the day, if you feel you have done everything that you can do, you did the best that you can, then that is okay.
Yeah.
But you have to decide what kind of parent and what that will look like for you. And
Yeah.
everybody's not going to have the same thing. And just
Right.
know for you, this is what we have decided. This is how we are going to roll with it. And if you're okay with it, then it's fine.
Okay. Excellent advice. So you also speak and teach on diversity, equity, and inclusion. What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned about raising culturally aware and emotionally healthy children in today's world? That's a big one.
Yeah. um, my whole thing is reality.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching kids reality
Mm-hmm.
of how life is, um, how things are. Because I think, as parents, we want to protect them, and
Right.
it's okay to protect them, but also give them be able to have a conversation of why things are the way they are. I'm
Mm-hmm.
all about education and explaining things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you still can protect them, but also give them the real truth, nitty
Yeah.
gritty. I just that's just the type of person I am, and I always keep it real with my children. I
Mm-hmm.
always, okay, this is why this is, and this is why this happens. Um, and I think that is help them to see the world different, make choices that um, are informative because they're not getting it from somebody else. Like, I've told you, this is why
Right.
the country is like this. This is why people have this. This is why, just the background. Because
Yeah.
I think people need to teach our history, and how wonderful it is, how
Mm-hmm.
we have overcome so
Yeah.
much, and why people may be a little different from you or may
Mm-hmm.
have different beliefs, but just let them know because they're not going to get it from school. And
That's true.
you want them to get the correct information. And then that will, I believe help people, because I just run into so many people who, like, they don't even explain what a period is.
I
Like,
know that's
going
bad.
through puberty. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
I
what is
know, I
a period?
know, I
So
know.
I always just, I'm just like, tell them. Just tell
Yes,
them. And
yes,
at least they got it from you than their
right.
friends who don't know nothing. But just always be honest and just
Mhm.
how it is. And
Yes,
they respect that. They respect
they
that.
do. They do. I completely agree with that. And a lot of times, generationally, before like my mom, topics were kind of off limits. We didn't do a whole lot of that. With my daughter, I wanted to change that, and we do. We talk about everything, and I wanted that open dialogue. And I mean, my mother, of course, we do that now, but it's a generational thing, and
Right.
I think we're getting better. I think we're getting better, or I hope. I try to change that narrative for me and my daughter. And so, ladies, if you're listening, talk to your kids. Tell them the real. I mean, like she said, if they don't get it from you, they're going to get it from other sources that don't know what they're talking about and don't love them like you do.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So okay, so here's my last question for you, and then we're going to get into some things that you've got going on. But and I particularly like this question because I just did a panel discussion called "Dear Younger Self," and it was so powerful. So, if you could go back and whisper something to yourself in the early days of motherhood, what would you say to her now?
Um, to me, it would be, it's gonna be hard in the beginning. Um, and it's okay to express yourself, let yourself be vulnerable and talk, but it's always going to be better. It's always going to be better. Even when you go through horrible things, it's not going to
Mhm.
be like that all the time.
That's
So
right.
I can say my early with my younger child, I ooh, that was that was a hot mess, okay? But, like, now everything is so good. She's so well adjusted. I am proud of how she is. Everybody, like, I think me and my husband and my family has done a great job with supporting her and doing everything for her. But I would whisper to myself, like, it's gonna be okay. Like, this ain't, it's not gonna stay like this. Like,
That's right.
yes, that she, at the end of the day, will be fine. She will
Yes.
be fine, and you
Yeah.
got this. So that
Yes.
was, I would be like, "Girl, you got this. I
Got
know,
this.
run around that closet. The floor might be wet from all them kids. It's gonna be okay.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be okay.
it's
Yes.
gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay."
Okay. I love that. All right. All right. So now let's talk about what things you've got going on, how we can support you, and also let us know how to find you on your social media platforms.
Yes. So, yes, I am still parent coaching. So, if anybody knows anybody, yes, reach out to me and see me, and I will help you in the best way that I can. So really just more speaking, getting the word out there. I have some book chapters coming out, and I am trying to gear myself up to writing my own thing, but I'm praying on that and just
Okay.
finding time to do
Yeah.
that. You can also follow me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram at Head Dixon Yameika. I am on TikTok, and I'm Dr. Yameika there. I'm on LinkedIn. So you can, and I also have a website that's dryamikaconsulting.com that tells you
Okay.
all the things that I can do for you. We can link up if you just want to chat. And if you want some help for me to help you in any way, I'm here. I think this is my mission on this earth, is to help people. That's
I
why
love
I
it.
went to do what I'm doing. So come
Yes.
on.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, ladies, you have heard that. I will have that information in the description. I will also, for those of you that prefer to listen on audio podcasts, all of that will be in the show notes. So reach out to Dr. Yameika, get that help that, I wish I'd have had a parent coach when I was going
Me
through some of my
too.
things, right?
Me too. Me
Yes. So there are resources, ladies. Definitely reach out. So, Dr. Yamika, I just want to tell you thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know you are busy, and I so appreciate you gracing us with your time and with your wisdom. Any last words before we say goodbye?
No, just hang in there, ladies. It gets better. That's it. It's getting better. You got this. You got this.
I like that. And we're going to end on that note, ladies. You got this. And always remember, like I always tell you, keep feeding your health, keep building your wealth, and keep walking in power. Until next time, ladies, take care of yourselves. All right. Bye.